FMGE exam is just around the corner, and how is your preparations going? So in this video, let us discuss about the last 30 days strategy for your FMGE exam. I'm Dr. Jazeer, your dermatology faculty at PW Meded. Now, you must have started your preparations probably 3 or 4 months back, or even before that, because we cannot just generalize it, right? So once you have started your preparations, now that you only have 30 days left, you would be having a lot of queries in your mind. What are the things that is disturbing you the most? The first thing, it should be that I have done almost many of the subjects now, but I don't think I have enough memory. Like I tend to forget a lot of things. I'm not very sure. I'm not getting more confidence. So do you think that there is a lack of confidence as you enter into the last 30 days of your preparation? Just remember, you can compare this entire scenario just like a 50-over cricket match, because all this time you were just batting properly, you were scoring your runs, isn't it? All those were the 40 overs of your life. Now the last 10 hours, if you are someone who watches cricket, you know that the last 10 hours is so important, because if you are able to score well, then you will be able to have a good closure, isn't it? It's just the same. Now that you have done all the things that is required over the last several months, now coming towards the last 30 days, if you have a proper strategy in hand, no hi-fi things, just a proper strategy, a proper implementation will make sure that you achieve this 150 marks, because there is no difference from someone who scores 150 to 300 marks, because this is not a competitive exam, this is just a qualifying exam. So for you to qualify, my first thing is that please don't keep a target of 150 for yourself. Aim high. Let you score 250, 220, 230, no issues, because aim for the highest marks so that even on the day of the exam, if some of the questions may go wrong, still you end up in 180s or 190s, isn't it? So that is most important for you. Now, when you go into the last 30 days, to start with, please make sure that we all know that there are major subjects, there are minor subjects. Like my subject of dermatology, if you are planning to spend 2 or 3 days for the subject, that obviously is going to be a bad decision, isn't it? Because you need to space it in such a way that for the major subjects, let us say 19 subjects, out of which the major subjects give 1.5 to 2 days maximum. And for all the minor subjects, try to complete at least 2 minor subjects in a day, if not maximum 1 day for a minor subject. So not beyond. And the most important thing is, we are not going for any kind of a long theory based exam. What is the type of the exam that we are going for? It's an MCQ based exam. So for an MCQ based exam, it's very, very important that your skills matter. So MCQ solving is a separate skill by itself. Now, how do you attain it? So how do you get it is only by practice. So whatever theory you know, if you make some confusing kind of a question in MCQ, you cannot write long stories. You just need to choose one answer. And this thing will come only with practice. So every day for the next 30 days, make sure that if you are doing 50 questions a day, increase it to 100 questions a day. If you're doing 75 questions a day, increase it to 125 questions a day. So because more and more when you practice with the MCQs, that definitely is going to help you, because you're going to read the explanation, and that also is going to help you say that where are you going wrong, and you can also be able to improve your skills, MCQ solving skills as well. First thing, increase the number of MCQs that you do in a day. The second thing is that out of 19 subjects, how many subjects are you going to skip? 1, 2, how many? So please remember, you are not going to skip even one subject, because be it any short subject which is going to yield you another 5 marks, all those friends or seniors who were not able to crack the exam in their 145, in their 149, they know the value of these 4 or 5 marks, isn't it? So please don't skip any of the minor subjects nor the major subjects. Try to cover 19 out of 19, and every day you're going to practice MCQs. You're going to increase the number of MCQs that you're going to do. And the last but not the least, how many grand tests? Do you think that over this 30 days you will be able to give multiple grand tests? Yes, obviously you have to give it, because I have seen a lot of students going for the exam, because once by the time you get your hall ticket, you'll understand that the reporting time for the exam is in the morning hours, isn't it? And you probably would be reading late in the night all this time, and the biological clock is set for you in such a way that you can stretch it till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the night, but and you wake up in the morning probably around 9 a.m. or so. So if you are going to continue on the same cycle now over the last 1 month, what is going to happen is, one fine day, if you have to get up early in the morning, let us say by 7 o'clock, you go to the examination hall and then you try to sit and solve the MCQs, this is not going to help, because you may feel that your body is getting tired, you're not able to cope up, you're not getting a good concentration. So these are not the things that we have to face during the process. What we want is that on the day of the exam, you should be able to have a peaceful mind. You should be able to see one question after the other. Your mind should be working in such a way that you're able to apply the knowledge that you have already gained and just apply it into the MCQ, so that we don't make any kind of mistakes, isn't it? So what you need to do is just make sure that you're gonna give grand test. So while you're giving the grand test, try to give the grand test on the same timings of the real-time exam. So if the exam is bound to start at 9 o'clock in the morning, start the exam at 9 o'clock in the morning. And the second part of the paper, if it is in the afternoon session, then start the second part of the session in the afternoon time. So make sure that you adjust your study timings accordingly, because it is much favorable for you if you try to adjust those timings of your grand test just like your actual exam timing, so that you will get to know multiple things. You will get to know how well is your time management. You will get to know whether you are able to concentrate for all the 300 questions of the exam, isn't it? And you will get to know whether you're feeling some fatigue or some uneasiness by the time you complete around few number of questions, etc., so that we overcome all those things. Please remember, my dear students, that this exam is not just a test of how much you have done for each and every subject, but this exam is also testing you whether you are able to memorize everything properly, whether you are able to manage your time properly, whether you are able to recollect everything properly, and also you are able to give such a long exam, 2 separate sessions in a single day. So everything is possible only if you try to practice, and with practice nothing is impossible. And just keep very simple thing. Give at least half an hour today, and then just sit with a piece of paper and pen and just try to write down what are the subjects you are going to complete over the next 20 days. So within the next 20 or maximum 25 days, you are going to complete the entire revision of all the subjects. Maybe 1 or 2 days for the major subject, not more than 1 day for the minor subject. On everyday basis, you are going to increase the number of MCQs that you are going to do, and then you are going to give one grand test in between all the 5 days. Let's say 5 days, one grand test, 5 days, one grand test. So within this 1 month, you are going to give minimum 3 or 4 grand tests. And after that, the last 5 days, make sure that you complete everything in your schedule within 25 days. And over the last 5 days, don't go for anything new. No, don't go for any high-five things. Just very well what are those most important things in your notes which you were making, which you were marking in your notes that I'm going to revise this before the exams. So just go through those most important things in your notes. And not just that, please try to go through the PYQs, the previous year questions for the FMGE for the last 5 years, the previous year questions for the NEET PG for the last 5 years. If possible, some of the INI-CET PYQs also, because if you do those PYQs, if you can find time for 3 or 4 grand tests, and if you keep practicing your MCQs, and if you make sure 19 out of 19 subjects are at least touched. I don't say that you're going to master all those 19 subjects within 30 days, but if you do a revision, these things are definitely going to stay in your mind. And on the day of the exam, when you get a question, the first thing that comes to your mind would be the right answer. So just go click that right answer and don't try to change your mind. Don't try to think too much, change the options, because that gut feeling that you have has the most probability that you are going to mark the right answer. So don't be worried. Just keep your confidence level very high. There is nothing to worry here, because you are just going to face an exam which is of 300 marks. where you need to score just 150 marks. So 50% is all that you need, but just tell yourself the effort that you have done over the last several months is something that you can achieve not just 150, you can achieve 200, 250 or even 250, isn't it? Or even higher. So just say that to yourself every day, and in this last moment, just excel it, and I'm sure that all of you are going to pass the exam with flying colors. All the very best, all prayers with you, and you're just gonna rock the exam. Thank you so much.